If you were listening to the radio in 1997, then you most likely know Emerson Hart. He's the voice behind the hit song, If You Could Only See. Now the lead singer of Tonic is releasing a new solo album, and he joins me now. Emerson, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You have a new solo album out. It's been about 6 years since your last solo album, correct?
It is, yeah.
What did you set out to do this time around?
Just kind of record what I'd been through in the past 6 years. I mean, I think I really look at records as being recordings in time, and I can't really rush work, so I kind of had to live some stuff and write about it and put it out. But it's a record I'm really proud of. So
living that stuff, you went through a divorce, you got remarried.
Yes,
how much did that play into this?
180% of it. Huh. Yeah, I think when I was recording Cigarettes and Gasoline, which was the first solo record, I had kind of saw ahead what was coming subconsciously, and that my relationship was falling apart, and I was not probably fully prepared to accept that. But I wrote the record and moved forward, started touring, everything fell apart. And then I kind of was in this creative nowhere man land where I didn't have a real beacon or a thread that I wanted to write about. So I just started recording songs and just taking down ideas and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden I found the thread, and once I found that one thread, then it just kind of led me through the record. I
heard you say that this is going to be a songwriter's record. That's how you approached it. I mean, talk a little bit about that and how you decide this is going to be a solo song or this is going to be a Tonic song.
It usually becomes pretty apparent when I'm at the chorus, right? When I'm done with the chorus and starting to write a verse, I can pretty much tell in my head whether or not it's going to be good for me or good for Tonic.
Well, one of the songs that's on your solo album is The Best That I Can Give. A lot of fans have been hearing that single in the last couple of weeks. How did that song come about?
Well, when I went through the divorce, I started dating, and I started dating one girl. I'm kind of a serial monogamous kind of guy, and we dated for about three and a half, almost 4 years. And then I started to panic because I was really in love with this person, but I didn't know how to get married again. So it pretty much fell apart. And that song, in a way, lyrically represents, that's really the best I could give at that point in my life. You know, and I'll probably do you a better service by not being with you. But of course, when I finished it, I realized I was being foolish, and because you must always choose love and happiness first, and so it worked out.
Worked out in both ways. You got a good song out
of
it,
no doubt.
And you got the girl.
Yes, it is very thematic.
That's very nice. We talked about If You Could Only See. That was the most played track of 1997. That must have been surreal at that time.
It was, man, because you remember, Lemon Parade came out in '96. And the first single off that record was Open Up Your Eyes, and that, we were in a van and touring and stuff like that, and then that went to #1, and then we were in a bus, and then we were touring Open Up Your Eyes and having that success. I was like, wow, this is as good as it's ever going to get. I'm going to just soak all of it up. And then Kevin Weatherly, who was at K-Rock, which was a big station in Los Angeles at the time, added If You Could Only See, and we had not planned for that to be the second single. It was going to be Casual Affair, which was a heavier rock song, since we were already kind of plowing down the road of rock radio at that point. And he added it, and man, it was from bus to plane. I mean, it's amazing how quickly that can happen.
Yeah, it's unreal.
I'm so grateful for that song. I was talking to somebody after a show a few nights ago, and they're like, man, don't you get tired of playing that song? And I was like, no, it's given me so much joy, and it's given me so much in my life. And when I was talking earlier about a recording in time, it's so amazing to have a song that has been such a part of different people's lives, and be like, well, I fell in love at one of your shows. I met my wife. That was our song. When my daughter was born, every time I hear it, it makes me think about the first time I saw her. And man, that's like the greatest gift I can ever get.
And you can't get sick of it if you're constantly hearing that kind of thing, right?
No, of course not. I mean, as a writer, it is the hugest compliment for me.
Last Tonic album came out in 2010. Have you guys been working on some new material?
We do here and there. I think we've all been really busy. I obviously was recording this record. We're looking at different ways of how to do it. Whether do we do a full record? Do we release one song at a time? Which is kind of exciting to me in a way, being able to just kind of creatively work at little steps you know, and be like, bam, that's what it is. And then the next night you have steak. This is what it is. So we're looking at that right now on the road. So Dan and I have been kind of hashing back and forth what the concept would be. And I have ideas about what it should be for us for our next project. So we'll see what it is.
Emerson, thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Emerson Hart. His new album is called Beauty and Disrepair. For this and all things entertainment, stay with CBSNews.com.